Let's do this. Good morning, and welcome to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold.
Oh, hell yes.
This is the show where we talk about everything.
What the hell?
Well, almost. From today's news, culture, entertainment, real life, real people, and the stories everybody's talking about. And no, we don't do it in some tiny glass bubble. We do it the only way we know how. Real and completely unleashed.
Fire the hole, fire the hole, fire the hole.
So lean in and let's go right now.
Give me a hell yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the special Independence Weekend Friday kickoff show. This is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. We broadcast at 104.3 FM in the beautiful city of Pearl, Mississippi, but we also are worldwide, nationwide, syndicated on TuneIn and all the other radio apps. And then, of course, the podcast afterwards is available: Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, and every other podcast platform you can think of, possibly. Also, we're on YouTube Live right now. You can watch anytime back later. Also, we're on Facebook Live. You can watch now or anytime later. You can get involved with the chats. You can also get involved with texting me at 601 918 8409. 601 918 8409. Go ahead and hit the share button on Facebook. So we are moving into Independence Weekend. We're going to be talking about what that actually means, or you can tell me what you think it means too. We'll talk about some of the history of it. Of course, we will talk about that. But we will also be talking about America 250. It's a big birthday for this country, ladies and gentlemen. This country that we should all be so absolutely proud of. Look at us. Why in the hell do people break down walls, crawl under fences, walk for days with no food, no water to get to a country where they may have a chance for freedom? Okay, where else does that happen? Nowhere. This is the greatest country ever. If you don't believe that, and I hear way too many people on all this social media crap talking smack, if you don't believe that, I still don't understand why you're still here. Go somewhere else. And let us know, though, after you get there, keep your journals, keep your little diaries. Let us know how that's working out for you, because I can promise you it's not going to be good. Not compared to this country, the only country that has the First and Second Amendment the way we have it set up here. Okay, remember that on your trip, on your airline flights out of this damn country, because please take them. We're tired of the threats, especially from the celebritards and the people that literally don't like this country, then leave. Please, just stop talking about it. You know why, though? You're talking about it because you're not going anywhere. It's all propaganda. It's all talking smack, whatever you want to call it. You're not going to do anything. You're going to sit here and complain until you get one of your Democrat, socialist, communists elected to act like they're in one of these other countries and ruin the rest of our lives. We appreciate that. Not really. I'm being sarcastic. But this is what's happening. Okay? It's what's happening. The question is, can we stop it from happening? That's the bigger question. Can we stop this from happening? Because the young people, 16 to 35 years old, they don't get it. It's not because they're dumb, because usually they're very smart. Socialists and communists are very smart, book smart people. So why is it that they just don't like America? Because they've been taught in school, they've been taught in with friendships, they've been taught majorly by professors in college. That's what they've been taught. Scary but true. Scary but true. But also, we're going to talk a lot about um, the positive today. And why? Because look, it is Independence Weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We need to all be on the same page and understand what that actually means. Okay? What does it mean? What is Independence Day? Why do we celebrate it? How long have we been celebrating it? Common sense will answer those questions. But unfortunately, we've been told all different versions of the Declaration of Independence. Over the years, it's drifted in different directions. It's drifted from the first drafts to the second drafts to the 13th drafts, so on and so on. The same way that everything else drifts over time. When they scream about the democracy, we're an actual constitutional republic. We're not a democracy. I know that's not what they call it anymore, but that's what we really are. Just like they say that country was not founded on Christian values, Judeo-Christian values, all of that jazz. If you really look at the founding fathers who were super young people, okay, very young, upcoming people, 21 years old, stuff like that. They reference God, they reference the Bible verses, they reference all of that over and over in everything. Okay, so the argument about Christian values and all, and them calling us Christian nationalist, it's so far fetched and so stretched to the max. So if you're saying somebody that loves the nation, but yet they're a Christian, that makes them Christian nationalists. Are you saying that's a bad thing? Is that what you're saying? Or do you even know? Do you even have a clue what you're saying? That's the bigger question. Do you have a clue of what you are saying? Sometimes that answer is hell no. Okay? Because of things that they've heard, you've heard, whoever's heard. Propaganda works everywhere, or they still wouldn't do it. Of course it works. Of course it works. It works from all different sides. The devil, whatever you think in your mind is the devil. Either way, the devil is evil. We don't really think it's some red little guy running around with two horns. But I will say this, the devil is evil, and you're probably right, however you think about it. You're probably right. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, that the Bible and Christianity was so important starting the Independence Day and the Declaration of Independence, all of that stuff. That's why. And it just is what it is. Okay. So the true meaning of Independence Day is based on the historical records and record. It's the colonies declaration that legitimate government derives its authority from the consent of the governed, that people possess rights, inherent rights, and that people may seek independence when they believe those principles are true. Okay. The role of faith, because we get these arguments all the time about, there's two different quite versions. They're not versions, but there's two different ways that people interpreted the Declaration of Independence. But many of the founders, this is true, this is not facts. You can read all of this yourself. Daryl's not making it up. But many of the founders, and pretty much all of them, reference God in the Declaration. It mentions, quote, nature's God. It mentions the creator as God. It mentions the supreme judge of the world being God. And it mentions divine providence. These are just a few. These references reflect that the founders, or most of the founders anyway, believe that human rights came from God rather than from the, quote, government. At the same time, though, the Constitution drafted later established that the federal government would not establish an official national religion, which that's fine too. Why is that fine? Because you should have the right to believe in what you want. I'm not arguing that point. For generations, Americans have celebrated July 4th as the day of recognizing this national independence, individual liberty, more self-government, constitutional principles. That's the key right there. Constitutional principles, civic responsibility, the sacrifices of those who fought to establish and preserve this nation. And a little historical perspective on this. It's also historically accurate to note that the ideals expressed in the Declaration were not completely realized in 1776. Enslaved people remained enslaved, and women lacked many legal and political rights. Over time, these various movements have appealed to the Declaration's stated principles to argue, of course, for civil rights and political rights. So the true meaning of Independence Day, based on the historical record, is what we just talked about. Now, do other people change that around? Of course they do, to fit whatever narrative it is, and that doesn't matter politically or not. They still do it. But the founders' complaints back then, including when we signed this declaration, taxation without elected, lack of self-government, standing armies and military stationed in colonies during peacetime, restrictions on trade, limits on colonial legislators and courts, perceived violations of the English constitutional rights. But we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Amen. Amen to that. It also continues by asserting that people, all people, not one person, all people, possess the rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and the governments derive their powers from the consent of the governed, ed, us. So this little holiday that some people now are kind of blowing off, these ridiculous Democrat socialists, these ridiculous far left progressives. This is not the first round we've had with progressives. They go all the way back, way back, way, way back. On July 2nd, though, 1776, the Second Continental Congress voted to approve a resolution declaring the 13 colonies independent from the Kingdom of Great Britain. That's a key fact, y'all. But the true meaning is what we just talked about. If you have anything to say, you're welcome to chat. You're welcome to call me or text me at 601 918 8409. 601 918 8409. The text line today is sponsored by Cypress Point MS. That's cypresspointms.com or at Cypress Point MS on Facebook. There is so many celebrations going on this week and this weekend, rather. And the weekend is here, y'all. It is Friday, July 3rd. Tomorrow's the big day. But the whole weekend, we celebrate independence around here and throughout the country. The whole freaking weekend is all about the red, white, and blue, baby. It is about the Declaration of Independence and Independence Day. So many people, younger people, and not just younger people, but people who didn't take civics, or I don't know what it is, because I ran into it yesterday at a store. At a store. Everybody's like, y'all be safe on this Memorial weekend. I'm like, this is not Memorial weekend. This is not Memorial Day. And they're like, well, same thing. No, it's absolutely not the same thing. Memorial Day, Independence Day, those are not the same thing. Please, I'm begging you. There are free courses online, civics. You don't even have to study. Just read about it. Read about it. These days are not the same. These holidays are not the same. So that's my story for the day, what happened. And it actually happened too, not just making it up. It literally happened in Rankin County in Mississippi on Thursday, which was yesterday. So, and I mean, I'm not mad at these people. They don't get it. Okay. They do not understand. What does being an American mean in 2026? What does being an American mean in 2026? Now, when you hear this or you see this on YouTube or whatever, you send me a message and you tell me what you think it means. Okay? Tomorrow marks our nation's 250th birthday. We've talked about what the founders gave us, whether we're protecting those freedoms still today, which we are, believe me, every day. We're talking about the Supreme Court's rulings and the ongoing fight over immigration. These are all things that are happening right now, today. Independence Day may be one of the most significant this year in generations. And, including the culture battle that's going on right now in this country, the international developments that are going on right now in this country. and the blockbuster rulings from our own Supreme Court justices. But as we approach tomorrow, safety and security is super important. Wherever it is you might go, even if it's your backyard. Many of us conservatives out there are emphasizing, of course, the Constitution. We're also still talking about limited this government, term limits, individual liberty, religious freedoms, and the nation's documents that were so very important. But again, I ask you, what does being an American mean in 2026? Let me know. We'll talk about it. We'll chat about it. We'll get all over it. We'll get all over it. And whoever has birthdays on July 4th, that's just very cool. Very cool. Happy birthday to all of you who may or may not have a birthday on July 4th. Congratulations. On July 4th, that's just very cool. How about that delay for y'all? You got to hear it twice. Joe Davidson, one of the true patriots. Good morning, Daryl. Happy 4th and God bless America. Have a great weekend, sir. You too. Stephen SRS in the house this morning. Thank y'all for joining us bright and early. You can also listen our podcast. Go ahead and listen to it on Apple, Spotify, whatever it is. Make sure that you click like and put a great comment for us because it is absolutely blowing up. And we're digging it. We're digging it. We're loving it. Right here, Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. The new website will break over the weekend. And that is DarylArnold.us. No more messing around with all these long words. It's a real simple one-stop solution. DarylArnold.us. US, that makes sense, right? As in USA. DarylArnold.us. John Kennedy from Louisiana. Love some John Kennedy from Louisiana. Absolutely dig it. He don't mess around with his words. He's not scared of his words. And one of the biggest things throughout this whole year rolling into July 4th weekend has been elections. Why can't we fix the elections? Why can't we get a bill passed that over 80% of all people want? Why can't we get these freaking rhinos to act right? I mean, what is it that they really want? But John Kennedy on a podcast 24 hours ago talking about fixing elections, verifying your freaking identity. How easy is that? And the other thing is voting on actual election day. I mean, how can that be that hard, y'all?
80% of Americans support it. We can't get a single Democratic vote. This is not, I'm not speaking for President Trump, but here's the way I think you fix our elections and give people confidence in our elections. Number one, you have to be able to prove you are who you say you are to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, that just what the president says and what we say in the SAVE Act. I'm a co-sponsor of it. But number two, we need to go back to an election day, not an election month.
I agree.
We need to know who won that night.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't care how you vote. That's up to the states, but the votes have to be counted that night.
Why did that change so much? It used to be, didn't it used to be we knew that night?
Yeah, we always did. Well, because some states changed their laws In California, they don't know now for 2 weeks.
They still don't know.
And they still don't, I'm not sure, because you can vote by mail, and what matters is if it's postmarked, and sometimes the mail's slow and it takes 10 days, 2 weeks. If you're going to vote by mail, now President Trump hates voting by mail, but some states love it. But if you're going to vote by mail, the mail ballots have to be in far enough in advance for them to be counted and announced on election night.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, duh. Why would that not make sense? I mean, I'm for not voting at all through the mail. That's me. I agree with Trump. Some states don't. But election day needs to be a mandatory, whatever it takes to get it done on election day. Okay? And how do people prove their identity right now through the mail? I'm not sure about that. I don't think that some of them do in certain states. I guess that depends. I don't see California being one of those certain states that, frankly, does anything by the books anymore. Gavin Newsom, big story on him that just broke yesterday and day before. There was a mole, M-O-L-E, installed from his office who turned over all the recordings to the proper law enforcement. Good. The more, because this guy's planning on running for president. We all know that. The Joker himself. But good. Good. We're going to take a short pause for the cause. And we'll be right back with you. You're listening to Unleashed, Uninhibited, Unapologetic, but it is the Unleash Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And again, you can text me at 601-918-8409.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
You are listening to WPBP 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl, Mississippi.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
It is straight up top of the hour, Friday, July 3rd, 2026. The day before Independence Day, but the start of 4th of July weekend, which is Independence weekend. You've tuned into Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Been talking about a lot to do with Independence Day, Independence Weekend, Independence Throwdowns, Independence, what it's really all about, etc., so on and so on. So the founding fathers, we were discussing them earlier. They wrote, the ones that wrote the Declaration of Independence, and they're also apparently known to have run up really huge tabs at the local tavern and bar there. And apparently they do know how to run up and do a 4th of July toast from the tavern where George Washington was always there celebrating. There's a little piece, a little short piece here, little quick story on their tabs. Now, their tab back then was huge for back then. It would equal way more than what you pay for a tab now. But that was many years ago. Many, many, many years ago.
The founding fathers were a bunch of old guys. You're wrong. Alexander Hamilton was 21 in the summer of 76. Thomas Jefferson, 33. George Washington was 44, but that's a few months younger than Chris Evans, a.k.a. Captain America, is right now. And if you want to party like a founder, just come to France's Tavern in New York City. The guy who runs the place, Eddie Travers, says the Sons of Liberty drank, argued, and celebrated right here. And Washington was here for 13 toasts the day British troops finally evacuated the city. The room where it happened.
This is it.
And by it, I mean a lot of drinking.
Yes. We've all seen the bar tab.
He's not kidding. One tab from a different bar, same era, was the equivalent of $15,000 in today's money, more than 120 bottles of wine on top of whiskey and beer for just 55 people, with Washington out on a Friday night. These were celebrations of freedom, but also survival, and you can feel it when you visit. I think it makes the history more tangible. You can touch it.
Yeah, 100%. We feel it every day. You pinch yourself just to know what, like the conversations that, if you can imagine what had gone on here, like what they were talking about. Like they were talking about what America is today.
So raise a glass this 4th of July and toast George Washington and America, knowing that George Washington would approve.
A big toast to America, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. The summer of 76, and that being 1776. Okay? Isn't it crazy, though, that someone as young as 21 years old started this idea, which is this whole entire country? I mean, seriously. But the lifespan back then, the lifespan of an adult male was like 60. Remember that. So basically, the government, as we know it now, and the idea of this Declaration of Independence and all this other thing, the whole entire idea, this was based on an idea. Okay? Somebody said, what did Chris Evans have to do with it? Well, I think the guy that was doing the story there in the local tavern bar, Chris Evans had to do. They were just comparing ages, how young even George Washington was. I mean, compared to people nowadays, okay? Compared to people nowadays. So we're all, I mean, I know I am anyway, we're older than the founding fathers. Isn't that bizarre? Of course it is. Of course there is. It is, rather. Now our leaders are, triple their age, or at least twice, but sometimes triple their age. And I would say that's a good thing and a bad thing in some areas. The bad part of that is we need term limits so we don't have dinosaurs. Okay. But the good part of that is sometimes we have to have, no matter what their age is, 21 or 90, people with common sense. That's the truth too, as well. That's the truth too, as well. So think about that as well when you're rocking and rolling down the road, going somewhere, thinking about things, thinking about this experience, which is the United States of America, the greatest country ever. I'll tell you, we're going to get into the MK Ultra program in a little while. We're going to talk about that before we get off the air. So crazy what the CIA was doing for years and years, secretly, illegally, so on and so on. So Timmy Boy Tampon Tim Walz, Minnesota governor, has pardoned. Now, I'm going to probably make a reel out of this, because the more people that know about these insane far left progressive liberal Democrats, the better. Tim Walz has pardoned the illegal immigrant who violated a 10-year-old girl. He pardoned him. This disgusting individual was set to be deported thanks to the Trump administration until Timmy Boy Walz decided to swoop in and protect this creeper, this criminal, this sicko. America first, y'all. It means keeping our nation and our nation's future safe. And these new Democrats, these far left wingers, of course, have made it completely clear that they couldn't care less about protecting the great people of this country. They made it real clear. And they could care less. So there's a new senator running there. And we don't live there, but we all know Michelle Tafoya. If you are a sports fan, especially football, we all know Michelle Tafoya, a sports announcer for year after year after year. Well, she's running for senator over in Minnesota. And when she broke this story on the New York Post, she's serious about Tim Walz and getting him the hell out of that state. And really, he shouldn't just get out of the state. He should be put in jail for all the stuff that's going on during his watch, his administration. He can't blame that one on Trump like they always try to do. He can't blame it on. Here's Michelle Tafoya discussing this very thing. As we got a clip on clip number 42, if we can get this 42 to play correctly this morning. There's always
Tim Walz just pardoned an illegal alien who repeatedly raped a 10-year-old girl. This man lost his privilege to be in the United States when he forever hurt that innocent child. And Tim Walz just wiped the slate totally clean. Actions have consequences, but it's clear that current Minnesota leadership disagrees. This man walked through our streets, targeted and abused one of our own children. Thanks to the Trump administration, he was set to be deported. And the Democrats just put a big, fat wrench in that process. America first means keeping our nation and our nation's future safe. I'll make things very clear. If you come to our country and break the law, you should be deported, not pardoned. As your senator, I'll send the message that you cannot come into our country, hurt our kids, and walk away without justice.
Yeah, I hope she wins. Somebody's got to clean up the mess, clean up the insanity that is going on in the disgusting Minnesota leadership. Okay, I can't blame it on the people. It's not the people. It's the disgusting leadership. Disgusting. We need to protect the children, the future. That's the country. I mean, please get out this midterms that are coming up in November, please, y'all. No matter where you are, it doesn't matter what state. It's coming to your state, my state, and every other state. And vote across the board to get rid of the socialists, get rid of the, quote, communist wannabes, and the evil people that want criminals to stay here illegally and be pardoned. And Tim Walz, this guy is so sick, so anti-American, it's not even funny. He is now blatantly giving us the middle finger and all Minnesotans. That's what he does. And not just that, but American people. But those Democrats, those progressives, they want chaos. They don't care about the American people. They want chaos. And he sacrificed comfort for courage. A Pennsylvania trooper struck, killed while inspecting a vehicle on I-81 in Colorado. Yes, he did. Another terrible reminder, keeping Pennsylvania safe is a dangerous job. Yeah, it's happening all over the country. These people that go to work every day, they wake up to save your asses and mine, but they're also put in danger from absolute insane accidents that happen. I think we forget that way too much. Way too much. But they do. We're talking about Gavin Newsom over in California. Well, an appointee, the Gavin Newsom appointed into his tribe, into his own tribe, wore an FBI wire in the corruption probe. Good for her. Good for her. Democrat insider Alexis Podesta 45 secretly recorded conversations during the criminal probe into Newsom's chief of staff, also Dana Williamson, who also pled guilty to federal fraud and tax charges also in May. This is where it started, though. The investigation has since moved on to Newsom and his wife and other members of that administration. Now, they should continue to hound, harass, and dig deep. Okay, dig deep. Because he will be cooked if they look deep enough. He's been corrupt for decades, and nothing seems to happen, of course. Nothing seems to happen. Apparently, though, this wire started during the Joe Blow Biden era, but now it's kind of that part of the investigation is public now. saying, quote, the headlines, FBI infiltrated Gavin Newsom's inner circle, convincing governor's ally to wear a wire. This has been a while back, though. Okay, so let's not confuse that with lately. But it is putting the pieces of the puzzle together against another far left con artist, far left con artista, who would be obviously Mr. Gavin New Scum. Oh, man. What will you do this weekend? Okay, here we go. Today is Friday, July 3rd, 2026. It is Independence Day weekend. Cypress Point Resort. Oh my God. There is so much going on there. It is summertime fun. Let's start it out that way. It is summertime fun, not even including Independence weekend. It's summertime fun. But if you combine those two together, it is the biggest party and the biggest events around and the biggest celebration. Okay, the biggest celebration. So on Friday, which is today, on the live music, we'll go over that first. Bob Birchfield will be in the tavern tonight. And yes, there are a lot of specials going on. Over in Cameron's Garage, at Cameron's Garage, Slow Hand, the band. That is the Conway Twitty amazing. I do mean amazing Conway Twitty tribute band. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Okay, phenomenal. And then on Saturday, the huge party, Anthony Mansell in the tavern and Hurricane, the band, ladies and gentlemen, the ultimate party band, perfect for July 4th on Saturday night. And 9 p.m., there will be a free fireworks show at Cypress Point Resort. Come one, come all. Check out the beautiful fireworks. And then on Sunday, Fun Day, Dylan, Nick, and Josh, also known as Lariat Acoustic Trio, and then Bradley Parker and Chris Sanders wrap it up from 5:30 to 9. What a weekend of music. As Cypress Point celebrates 250 years of America. Of America. These loaded teas we have now over at Cypress Point in the general store, phenomenal. People are going crazy over them. The red, white, and blue, all these different flavors. The red, white, and 250 drinks. Sunday brunch coming at you for July 5th at 10 a.m. with firecracker mimosa flights. Wow. Crazy. Hot dog flights. This is my favorite, you guys. I'm a big time lover of hot dog flights. We have the garage favorite, ketchup, mustard, and relish. We have the tune-up, chili, cheddar cheese, and onions. We have the rat rod, cream cheese, jalapeno mix, bacon and jalapenos. The high octane, crawfish, queso, and green onions. Wow. The supercharger, bacon, cheese, shredded cheese, green onions, and we have the turbo for all you people that like to get turbocharged. Pepper jack cheese, hot honey, and bacon. These are hot dog flights. So you can get a 4-cylinder flight for $9.95. You can get a V6 flight for $13.95. And you can get the Mac Daddy V8, 8 hot dog flight. The V8 flight, $17.95. Exclusively cypresspointms.com or at cypresspointms on Facebook or 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. This is a July promotion. A July promotion. Now, the safari will be open and is open. And it is open. So come out, check it out. Also this weekend over in the steakhouse, crab claws. As an appetizer, seared filet on a bed of angel hair pasta, topped with scallops and herbal butter. Dessert is a strawberry shortcake. Wow, man, it just keeps getting better. Keeps getting better. Meet your afternoon favorite, the Captain America loaded tea. It's bold. It's refreshing. It's red, white, and blue. Stop by the store. Your afternoon fuel is powered by Deep South Nutrition at Cypress Point MS. Wow. Just incredible. Let's get back to the Slow Hand Band tonight. The Slow Hand Band, the Conway Twitty experience done incredibly at Cypress Point at Cameron's Garage on the main stage. July 3rd, Friday night, 7:30 until 11. You cannot beat these. It's an unreal experience. And of course, July 4th, the big party, Anthony Mansell in the tavern, as well as Hurricane on the main stage at Cameron's Garage. The fireworks show. Yes, we have a fireworks show at 9 p.m. on Saturday night. Hurricane music, fireworks show, safari during the day, loaded teas in the stove. Don't forget to get all your barbecue stuff and, anything you need for the 4th of July weekend is available in our general store as well at Cypress Point. So, yes, you name it, it is the one stop that you have to make this Memorial Day. Excuse me. It is the one stop that you have to make on this Independence Day weekend. The one stop, which is Cypress Point Resort.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the tavern. The tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the safari park and petting zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the wedding chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Visit msema.org and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769-572-7597.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
All right, y'all, 7:25 in the morning. That's AM, the Central Daylight Time. My name is Daryl Arnold. It's Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. New website coming at you, hopefully to be cleared this weekend, darylarnold.us. darylarnold.us. And we all know what US stands for, my friends. It is Independence Day weekend, as you just heard me going along a very long information for what's happening out at Cypress Point. But if you're in your backyard too, be safe. Always be safe. But we talked about hot dog flights. We talked about so much that's happening out there. And these are things that everyone needs to know. Rankin County's number one hot spot is Cypress Point. The 250th celebration of America. I mean, it's just wild in a great way. 250 years, ladies and gentlemen. This experience started back then. Didn't just happen overnight either. They worked hard at it. Very young people, founders, until they got it right. Okay. And now here we are 250 years later, but it's not the first time. Y'all would be very surprised. It is not the first time. The literal actual playbook that they were using in 1963 through 1965, they being the far left, I mean, they were using the exact playbook back then. It's the rise of the DSA that every American should be concerned about now. How do you stump these younger people? Not all younger people, but these young socialists during a debate. Well, you do it with one single question. You do that with one single question. Please ask them the same thing. So these are a group of young people. These are not famous people. These are not, quote, influencers. These are just regular people. They're having a debate. The first part of this debate, you're going to think, well, what are you talking about, Daryl? But when you get to the end, you will understand that they never have an answer to the most important stump question that you can ask them ever. Never have, but guess what? They never will. And the reason they won't, because this is the greatest country ever. Period. America, the beautiful. Okay? America, the great. America, the free country, the freest of all free. So that's why they'll never have an answer to the last really question that this guy pushes them to. They don't even realize they're being pushed to the question. But when it makes common sense to them,
States to go to China, Cuba, Venezuela, or Russia. This is not. Have you? I would say that's not a fair argument to make because there's multiple factors outside of your preference and economic models that
and ability to move.
Yeah. Also, like I don't want to leave my
to
grandma.
another country.
Like, my grandma's here. Be damned if it's socialist. My grandma's here.
It makes no sense. It's just such a ridiculous question. It makes no sense. It's not what we're talking about.
It's exactly what we're talking about.
No, it's not.
Let me.
All right, here's where it comes in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the correct way to talk to one of these dummy socialists who thinks it's going to be better because they think everything's going to be free, like Zoran, the moron, Mendami, and the rest of these new foolish people getting elected.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to, like,
No,
I really.
digital nomads
We are not talking about that. Let's be real. We are talking about the systems themselves. And we're not talking about where we could live, where we should live. I don't know much about China. I'm not going to lie. I'd be interested to live there. That's not the question. We're not asking that.
Question. So let me explain. 'Cause maybe you're misunderstanding my point then. We are talking about which systems are better than others. I'm making the argument that capitalism is the most perfect system we have out of any other market. And my proof to that, among many other things that we've spoken about in this episode, is that you have people coming on boats to escape regressive socialist countries. And if you're trying to...
people not doing that.
Okay, well, I have a colleague at PragerU named Franklin Camargo, and he literally escaped from Venezuela to come to the United States.
Your anecdotal evidence is totally sufficient.
It's not anecdotal evidence, which is why you have at least 14 to 30 million illegal immigrants who are living in the United States because they're escaping their own lives. And in fact, the argument the left makes as to why we can't bring them back to their countries is because their countries are so dangerous and are so anarchist-esque that we have to keep them in the United States. So if your argument is that either actually no, capitalism is not the best system, or if the argument is no, kind of all systems are kind of random or there's no one better than the other, then if that is the case, then why don't you see millions of Americans in the same way you see millions of people in this world coming to America, leaving America specifically to flee this system? And I'm arguing we're actually seeing the opposite. Why? Because this is the most perfect of all available options for a market economy.
Yeah, now you have to listen to that close. But when you do, he really got them, because the majority of these people, let's just go ahead and put it out there, this DSA, as they're calling it, these progressive lunatics, are highly educated. They're very educated. The young progressives, they're disgruntled. They've spent their time at university indoctrination campuses, being pushed oppressor-oppressed narrative. Education needs an entire freaking overhaul, period. No one in their right mind would move towards that. Karl Marx. Marxism, Karl Marx. He had 7 children. The number one sponsor, the number one Marxist, the number one free this, free that. He had 7 children. 4 died out of starvation. 2 committed suicide. He never had a job, and he was supported by his wife his entire life. Well, why is that fun? What kind of man, God-fearing man would do that, would live that way? Okay? It's crazy. Insane. The only thing that they have left to look and giggle at is each other, talking about these ridiculous kids that were arguing about socialism. Because the Marxists, communists, socialists are, in fact, insane. They get their directive from Karl Marx, all those kind of people. They just do. Angela sent me a text. Good morning. Socialism is better than capitalism. She didn't say that. It's a meme. There's a person saying socialism is better than capitalism, and then the other person is saying, hey, when the Berlin Wall fell, who ran to which side? Yeah, think about that. The American socialists now are convinced that American socialism will be exceptional, even though they reject capitalist American exceptionalism. They don't get it. They don't get it, you guys. They have been diminished with propaganda. They have. They've been diminished with propaganda. Capitalism brought the iPhone, Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, you name it, any business. So stop being lunatics. Separate yourself from these foolish fools. Really do. I mean, people leave their own grandparents, they leave their parents, anything to escape communist and socialist hellholes all the time. If your excuse is to stay in the worst, whatever you think that it is here, you're not oppressed. You're foolish. You're foolish. You've already got it made in the shade in this country. Okay, enough about those dummies, because that's what it is. This argument's been around for 60, 70 years, and then way before that as well. But the new Democrat is not your granddaddy's Democrat Party. This is not the party of JFK for sure. It's a full-blown communist revolution, and they're trying to take over right now. Here's Caroline Leavitt talking about that exact thing yesterday, literally, at Washington, D.C., right on the National Mall.
Like that, candidates running for the modern day Democrat Party. This is not your granddaddy's Democrat Party. This is not the Democrat Party of JFK. This is a full-blown communist revolution that is taking over Capitol Hill right here in Washington, D.C., just a few steps away from where we are sitting right now. The inmates are running the asylum. These are crazy people who are advocating against what I call the 3 Ps: prison, police, and private property. They don't want any of those things. And those are the ideals that founded this great country 250 years ago. But as President Trump says, communism is easy to sell. You just promise people free stuff. Until a few years, you're living in squalor with no free home, no free food. You're just sitting there with a whole bunch of communists looking around and saying, what the heck happened?
That's right. That's what Zoran the Moron did in New York City. And now, I'm not laughing at the poor people, but a lot of you poor people voted for him. You voted for Zoran the Moron, unfortunately. And that's, turns out that, socialism, capitalism, well, he says socialism. Turns out that socialism is actually not free. New York mayor out there a day or so ago, day before yesterday and yesterday, he said, quote, "It's hot out there and the power grid is working overtime to keep us cool." And then he went on to say, "Hey, I need all of you to turn your AC to 78 degrees, turn off your lights, electronics you're not using, unplug what you can." Okay, really? Seriously? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I wonder what they're turning the AC to at the Madison Square Garden as they block off whatever it is, 2 to 4 blocks for the Madison Square Garden for Taylor Swift's wedding. Wonder if they're going to set that on 78. What you think? Taylor Swift shutting down a damn city. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But I wonder if Zoran the Moron is going to tell them what to do. So socialism works, right? Yeah, I'm winking. Yeah, whatever. Dude. Really? 78 degrees. Somebody said, I guess this dude thinks he's still in Uganda. I guess. America is the only place right now on earth where you can come from absolutely nothing and be a billionaire, millionaire, whatever it is you want to be. But I guess Mayor Mandami thinks he's going to be able to tell people what to do now. This is America, not Tijuana or Uganda for that matter. But hey, a lot of people voted for this foolishness. But here you are now complaining. But the moral of the story is it's not just New York. These DSA, quote, Democrat, Socialist, Communists is what they are. Party of America. As we roll into July 4th, they're not even wanting to celebrate that. Well, you know what? Don't. We'll be just fine celebrating for you. We know the true meaning. We know the real meaning of the way the country was founded. We know how important Independence Day is for every single one of us, but not just us, also all you haters. So if you don't want to do it, we'll do it for you. Okay? You don't have to be there. You don't have to be there at all. We will do it for you. Okay? Absolutely, we will. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Turns out that socialism actually isn't free. Right, Mandami? That's right. And all the rest of you fools. And actually, our economy is doing way the hell better than you may think. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. You're too busy hating Trump every day, on and on and on. Same old, same old, same old, same old. Hate, hate, hate. Hate, hate, hate. I'm done with all the hate. Y'all keep doing it. President Trump just dropped this. Literally dropped this line on the Federal Reserve. Our GDP should be 12% or higher. Stop choking the growth with high interest rates. Yeah, exactly. We're going to take our last break. We'll be right back. It is Unleashed.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
The Mississippi Reunion Concert. Everyone has waited on, and we have it at Cameron's Garage. August 7th, Crossin' Dixon. This is the concert of the decades not to miss. Join us at Cameron's Garage for an evening of music. The Stevens Brothers Band will kick off the night at 5:30 p.m., followed by Crossin' Dixon at 8 p.m. Purchase your tickets in advance for $15 or at the door for $20 at cypresspointms.com. This will sell out. We cannot wait to see you there.
I've got Southern comfort running through my veins.
We all make promises, big and small. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I do solemnly swear
to help you when you're in need,
to be considerate and caring, to be your loving, faithful friend,
partner,
child,
parent,
neighbor.
One of our most important commitments is to support our nation's veterans. Learn how you can help a veteran going through a difficult time by visiting maketheconnection.net.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Yeah. Friday, July 3rd. Independence weekend. Independence weekend, ladies and gents. Trump was saying the Federal Reserve, our GDP should be 12% or higher. Stop choking the growth with high interest rates. That's how we built the country. Trump dropping a bomb, as he usually does, on CNBC on the mainstream. But he's right, y'all. He's a businessman. Come on now. Stop the hatred when it comes to money, money, money. Stop the hate when it comes to saving money, money, money. It's just so hard to get through the red tape with the idiots. Even if you do executive orders, no matter what he does, they're going to fight him till the end, regardless of whether you like him, hate him, in between. Want to give him another chance, don't want to, think he's fascist, whatever you think.
It's the opposite. When you announce good numbers, the stock market goes down, sometimes really way down, depending on how good. The better they are that work, because they have this phobia, they have this horrible derangement syndrome about inflation. And growth can be good for inflation, not just bad for inflation. And it's a shame. Anytime numbers are announced that are not so good, I wish I could flip it the old way, that when you announce great numbers, because otherwise it's almost like they want to kill strength. They want to kill success. You announce good numbers. I want to, like, you have a couple of countries. India is one, doing very well, but it's at 7-8%. Others, take a look at Japan's numbers. I mean, they're doing very well. She's very good. She's doing a good job, a friend of mine, but they're allowed to go up. We're not allowed to go up. If we go up, they want to kill it. There's no reason we should stop at 4%. We should be at 12% and 13% GDP. And I hate what happens where in the old days we would be, that's how we built the country. Now you announce positive things and they want to bring it down by raising interest rates. And it shouldn't be that way. It should go back to the way it was.
I agree. I totally agree. Totally 100% agree. It should go back to the way it was, the golden era. 250 years is this weekend. We're celebrating it. Here's a New Yorker right here saying she's not even proud to be an American, which I don't understand.
Proud to be an American?
Absolutely not.
We're asking people questions today. Are they proud to be an American?
That's subjective, I assume. And as of right now, me personally, no.
Why not?
For a million trillion reasons.
Give me your top two.
To me, it's common sense. It's the way the country's being ran, and it's a disgrace. I don't know how else to word it. It's disgusting. I don't know how else to word it. It's everything.
So would you say you're not proud to be an American?
Absolutely not.
Now, I am curious. Do you?
This guy, this lunatic lady. I mean, what the hell's wrong with people? Get out. Just go away. We're celebrating the 250. We don't care about all your negative crap. Go on. Get away. Go away. Leave. See ya. Bye. Etc. So on. So on. GTFO already. Okay? Already. I don't understand the sentiment No one is keeping these people here. Goodbye. Goodbye, Robert De Niro. Goodbye, all these fools. Goodbye to all these fools. I don't know if you guys saw what Trump himself posted. Now, of course, it's a joke. It's a joke, but the Democrats are wetting their bed over it. I promise you that. We're going to play that because it's insane. I challenge all y'all to look into the MK Ultra files that the Oversight Committee and everyone has been looking into, and all the hearings and all the things that were going on with MK Ultra all the way to Charles Manson, and just really changing people's memories and changing what they remember of the future and the freaking past. There was a lot going on with that MK Ultra stuff that the CIA, it was actually illegal, that the CIA did to our own people for years and years. A lot of that stuff has been released now. You can find it interesting, but you also should look at what psychologists, psychiatrists are capable of doing to somebody, not for them, but to them. Not all of them, of course, but this MK Ultra was designed purposely to do this magnificent, crazy, odd insanity. Okay, that's what it was designed for. You look into that. It is way too much to start talking about on a Independence Day weekend. Maybe we'll do it on some other day and do a whole episode, because it will take a whole episode. It will take a whole episode to talk about this. And that's the truth. That is the truth. All right, let's talk about a couple of things before we get out of here. Jennifer Malley and Carrie Bell having a big birthday showdown, throwdown on July 4th. What a great weekend to have a birthday. It's also America's 250th birthday Hurricane Live. The party band at Cameron's Garage. The double up, triple up birthday for America, Jennifer Malley and Carrie Bell, all happening Saturday night, July 4th, fireworks show at 9 p.m. That's a big shout out to them. Great friends of mine for a very, very, very long time. I still think, wow, that'd be kind of cool to have a birthday on July 4th, or even July 4th, 3rd, 5th, whatever. It would still be cool. It would still be very cool to do that. Dearborn, Michigan. I ain't going to spoil your weekend. The Midwest earlier today has turned into Islamic whatever. It's insane. It really is insane. Unfortunately. Insane. And, we could talk about this for another 2-3 hours and it would still be insane, Or in case, though, or have you heard, if you or someone else has Trump derangement syndrome, you may want to send them to Dr. Trump. You may want to send them. You may want to send them to Dr. Trump.
For years.
I really didn't believe that was help out there. That was when I came across this video on TV.
I really thought I was a lost cause. This was going to affect me for the rest of my life. But after using the treatment plan, I can see a difference.
I really wasn't sure I could help some of these people. They were so far gone, I wasn't really sure.
I had no idea how much this was affecting my life. My work is slowed down. I'm hardly recognizable anymore. I just needed help.
I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Constantly angry. I made everyone miserable around me.
I feel like I've aged 20 years in the last 2 years. I've been so concerned. I was really starting to worry about my future.
The treatment is simple. Turn off. Fake news. Say your prayers, and if you ever feel anxious, just have a Diet Coke like me, and you're going to see a remarkable difference in your life.
Trump posted that on his social media. Of course, that's AI, but the people, the AI characters on there, Robert De Niro, Julia Roberts, Whoopi, Stoopy, Goldberg, all the nasty Trump haters, all of them were just, it's just amazing what AI can do. It really is very amazing what AI can do. But this montage video is, I mean, of course, it's funny, but it just shows you that the Trump derangement syndrome is actually real. Now, I don't know if a freaking Diet Coke's going to help any of these nut jobs, but it is real. It is very, very real. De Niro, Robert De Niro, I couldn't sleep, constantly angry. That sounds about right. I made everyone miserable around me. You still do. Okay? And yes, Julia Roberts, you have aged 20 plus years. Not because of Trump, because you're getting old. That's what happens. So, grow up. Stop being stupidity. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Start celebrating Independence Day. Do it with style. This is the 250th year of our country, and all of you nut jobs, I'm telling you now, if you don't like it, get the hell out of here. We're going to hear all of that crap this weekend. Oh, I hate America, blah, blah, blah. I'm not celebrating July 4th. Oh, we don't care. We don't care. Don't then. But you don't have to report to us and tell everybody. Just don't. Okay? But if you're not going to, then don't. We don't want to see you at some big event for Independence Day saying how much you hate America. You fools. Seriously. Proud to be an American? Yes. Proud to be American. God bless the USA, Lee Greenwood. Here's some top songs for you, which is basically the modern day 4th of July anthem. Star Spangled Banner. America the Beautiful. Famously performed by Ray Charles, but many people have done it. The Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue. Toby Keith. Yes. The Raggedy Old Flag, Johnny Cash. A tribute to the American flag. God Bless America. This Land is Your Land. Living in America, James Brown. Party in the USA, Only in America, American Ride, Where the Stars and Stripes and Eagles Fly. American Saturday Night, Chicken Fried. All these songs are loving on America, and that's what we all should be doing. That's why I brought them all up. As we end this show today and roll into the Independence weekend, Independence Day weekend, 4th of July weekend, July 4th weekend, remember what it's all about, but please be safe out doing whatever in the hell it is you're doing, but have fun and celebrate America. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about who cares and who doesn't care. You care. We care. Together we all care about this country and our Lord above. My name is Daryl. I'll see you after Independence Day weekend. Have a fantastic, great time, and remember what in the hell we're celebrating. And I'll see all of y'all out there because I'll be celebrating. See ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic, America First Talk at its best, where we party the right way. See you next time, or else.
You are listening to WPBP 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl, Mississippi.